you, listen up. The NFL season is rolling right along, and DraftKings, as an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is bringing you all the action and all the best deals. Look me in the eye. If you somehow have not signed up for DraftKings yet, well, I got a great deal for you. Download the app. Use the promo code T-Bob, T-B-O-B, and when you bet $5 on any NFL game, you get $200 in bonus bets instantly, which you can then go play with. But T-Bob, I love snaps, I love you, and I've already signed up. Well, guess what? DraftKings is taking care of all their customers throughout spooky season as you get game day sweeteners the entire month of October. So whether you're new, whether you've been around here for a while, DraftKings is the most fun place to play. It's taking care of you. Again, if you're signing up for the first time, promo code T-Bob, $5 NFL bet, nets you $200 in bonus bets instantly. So let's have some fun watching the games this spooky season. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Is there a better sports month than October? The best way to get tickets to any games is on the Game Time app, the fastest growing ticketing app in the United States. You got this weekend, number 3 Ohio State hosting number 7 Penn State, a Big Ten rivalry game. Both these teams want to prove to Michigan, we ain't scared. Well, first, you got to win this game. You want to be in Columbus, Ohio this weekend for this matchup. So get the Game Time app, get those tickets, get your butts in those seats because you ain't going to want to miss this one.
Yeah, and look, maybe you want to watch Tennessee play host to the Tide, Auburn play host to Ole Miss. The bottom line is you can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and redeem the code SNAPS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, enter code SNAPS, that's SNAPS, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Look, football season's crazy, man. We're working 24/7. Kids are always doing stuff. Well, that's why I love Factor, right? Factor meals are wholesome. They're convenient. And like I said, jam-packed days. Factor takes care of me. They're America's #1 ready meal kit, and they can help you fuel up fast. These things are chef prepared, dietitian approved, ready to eat meals delivered straight to your door. So when you work with Factor, you're going to save time, you're going to eat well, and you're going to stay on track with that healthy lifestyle you're trying to maintain.
Yeah, make sure you round out your meal and replenish your snack supply with an assortment of 45 plus add-ons as well, including breakfast items like our delicious apple cinnamon pancakes. Yeah. Bacon and cheddar egg bites, and potatoes, bacon and egg breakfast skillet. I'm hungry. It's lunchtime, but I want some breakfast right now, T-Bob. Or for an easy wellness boost, try our refreshing beverage options like cold pressed juices, shakes, and smoothies.
Now, I want you to head to factormeals.com/snaps50, okay? Use code SNAPS50. You get 50% off. Are you kidding me? That's code SNAPS50 at factormeals.com/snaps50. 50% off Factor Meals. Let's go have ourselves a healthy and fun football season. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome in to a brand new edition of Snaps. Go do everything that we just advertised to you and support those who support us. And also like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want. That always helps. 6.5. The road to 7K continues. T-Bob Hebert, Aaron Murray hanging out with you. And look, because Brum just had the child, we've had a weird bit of a schedule change where we had to shift some things around, okay? And we can't do one show that we were doing previously, and so this is what we're going to do. We're going to bump up the weekend preview show to today, and we're going to bump up our gambling show with Colin Wilson to tomorrow. This week, I don't know if we'll have anything on Friday. Hopefully in the future, I got some things to figure out. Hopefully we will. So that's a little housekeeping, whatever. Huge thank you for hanging out with us. If you're on podcast or if you're live here at youtube.com/@volume-snaps. We're going to break down the 5 big boys today. And let's start, Aaron. I'm sorry, Aaron. How are you doing today? Let me welcome you in. How are you doing today?
I just, after listening to the ad reads, I need to work on saying juices because I think it said juices. Yeah,
really emphasize the Jew.
Yeah, I should be able to say that properly.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah, I
saying.
know.
That is you.
Juices.
Um, Juices. All right. So look, let's go ahead and dive into the games though. First off, the big boy. It's in the Big Ten. It's a game that I've been thinking about all week, Aaron, and it's kind of a shitty way for me to start because I don't know that I still have a great read on it, and that's Penn State,
Yep.
Ohio State. Like, it's in the shoe, but even then, I watched Michigan go in there last year on a beautiful day and handle it like it was nothing. So I don't know. I mean, it's intimidating, sure. I don't know if the NLB also have an advantage there. Like we said, I think I trust Ohio State's offense more,
Yep.
but I don't think I trust their offense more in the context of going against these two defenses. But I will readily cede, Aaron, that I think you've got a better read on this game than I do. How are you feeling about the Nittany Lions and the Buckeyes?
Well, it's going to come down to who can create explosive plays. I do think both these defenses are playing at a high level right now, and especially Penn State. Like that is you'd probably put them and Michigan as the top two defenses, and I don't think Ohio State's that far behind this season either. But you have the advantage of yes, you're at home for Ohio State at least. It's going to be loud, it's going to be rowdy, and you have a young quarterback that really has not had to play in a game like this magnitude.
True.
On the road like this. Like, what are his nerves heading into that game? And we've seen young quarterbacks struggle this year and struggle forever. Like, I was a young quarterback. I played as a redshirt freshman. It ain't easy. Like, I had to go into South Carolina. I had to go to Tennessee. I had to go to Auburn. It is hard as hell. It is intimidating. It takes time. Like, where I was my first true game at South Carolina to where I was by the end of the season, I made some big jumps because you learn how to deal with the communication. You learn the nonverbal signals, and you just gain confidence in yourself. Well, right now, to me, when I look at the quarterback situation, Drew Lar has played well this season, but he's been really protected. They haven't really asked him to do a lot. They've relied on the defense. They've relied on trying to run the football effectively with their two great running backs. But this isn't a game where you can hide him. You will be exposed offensively if you're one-dimensional. So that's my big concern heading into this. Of I look at the quarterbacks. I know the defenses are going to be good. Next up, what quarterback can make the most explosive plays consistently, and which quarterback can take care of the football? I have a slight edge in that to Ohio State in this game.
The thing I keep going back to is I feel like the Penn State defense is slightly better than the Ohio State defense. Now, at the end of the day, what are we even? I mean, I'm kind of grasping at straws. Right? I think Ohio State gives up 9 points a game. I think Penn State gives up 8 points a game. I think Michigan gives up 7 points a game. Right? So, statistically, all are dominant. But I saw a Notre Dame defense that pretty much shut down Ohio State, and I think Penn State's defense is better than what Notre Dame is bringing to bear.
But that was on the road too.
It was on the road. I mean, that's the other monkey.
I hate to say it, but like, you know this. You played center. You understand the difficulties of what it takes. You were a center at LSU. You had to play in Tuscaloosa. You had to play in some big time stadiums. It really is. It forces you to take your game to a whole nother level. So I don't think
unless you can run it, right? And that's the thing. I know you're saying that you're not going to be able to hide Drew Aller, and you're not completely, right? Like, he's going to have to make plays here and there. But what's the old other football cliche? What travels well, Aaron? Defense and running the ball, right? Well, if Penn State can run it, which they have by far been the best the best team in the conference in doing so, averaging over 200 rushing yards a game, 44 attempts a game as well. So really going for it. If they can run it well, then that becomes a massive advantage, because I don't think that Ohio State's going to be able to. And I think that Ohio State's going to have to rely on Kyle McCord. And I don't like, I guess that's what I'm kind of chipping away at here. It's easier for Penn State to rely less on Drew Aller than it is for Ohio State to rely on Kyle McCord. And I don't think that Kyle McCord is going to hold up very well against this top tier Penn State defense. I'm feeling the Nittany Lions here.
Wow.
I think I'm feeling the Nittany
Mm.
Lions to go into and look, and that would be a disastrous loss for Ryan
Yeah.
Day, especially after, this is a tough team, the whole rant against Lou Holtz. Okay, well, we're going to see how tough you are. Go out there and prove it. Because right now you got a pretty damn tough NFL-laden squad in Penn State. Like from a pure talent standpoint, I feel like these guys are pretty equal. In fact, I think Penn State may have more NFL talent on the defense, while Ohio State's going to have more weapons
Yeah.
on the outside.
Is it crazy for me to say, like, one, I think the under, I don't even know what the over-under is, but I'm just saying take the under. It's weird to say this, but first to 20 wins.
Okay, so right now we have an over-under of, no, that's actually spot on, Aaron, because it's at 45.5. So that is, yeah, I mean, what was Ohio State Notre Dame, was what, 20-14?
No, 17-10.
Oh, 17-10? It wasn't even 24. Okay, so I mean, yes, this feels like it could
17-14, excuse me, 17-14. 17-14.
This feels like it could be 24-17, maybe at
maybe. I think getting 20 is going to be. I think it's going to be.
I'll say this.
I do not trust
4.5.
either quarterback. I have not been. I think both have progressed at times this season, but I don't trust either against these defenses.
Exactly. And that's where Penn State's other advantages come into play. I think their defense is slightly better, and
Ohio State can run the
ball
football a little bit, but if Trayvon's healthy,
maybe, look, statistically, all I'm saying is Ohio State's 9th in the league right now compared to Penn State.
Who do you trust to make more explosive plays in this game? I would say Ohio State. I think you're going to
better be Ohio State. If Ohio State's
Yes.
not making more explosive plays, then they do lose. Like if Marvin,
Yes.
that is where Ohio State has to win, is on the edge with those weapons, just like Penn State has to win on the ground. It's actually a pretty fascinating contrast of cultures in that way. In that Penn State needs the running game, that's their big advantage to hit, and Ohio State needs Marvin Harrison Jr., that receiving core, to hit.
Yeah, but I know the
Final
numbers.
call. I'm
I know
going
the
Penn State on the road.
Okay.
I'm calling it.
Final call.
I'm going to bet. I think I'm at bet money.
I'm going Ohio State. I'm going low scoring game. Ohio State finds a way to win the football game. Drew Allar's taking care of the football this season. I think he makes one or two mistakes in this game.
Fair. I mean, Ohio State's great to get after the quarterback as well. So we will see. Next on the list, we got Tennessee going to T-Town to take on Alabama. And stick around for the end. I have one major stat that should maybe make Vols fans happy, but I think this is a pretty awful spot for Tennessee. I was impressed with how they handled A&M game last week, went with defense, running ball. Really, their ability to change their identity this entire year and be pretty successful, I think, has been great. But now you're going into T-Town against an Alabama team that is playing confident, playing with revenge on the mind, and this is where it gets interesting. You're going to beat Alabama at their own game. This isn't like last year where you had that dynamic offense to take advantage of what was a pretty weak back end for Bama. This is a Tennessee team that wants to win exactly like Alabama does, through running the ball, stopping the run, and pressuring the passer, right? And having a havoc creating front seven. And both teams are very good at it. Both teams are second and third in the league right now when it comes to sacks and TFLs. So this feels like a game where both teams have a pretty good chance of stopping the run. And then it's come down to the quarterbacks. And it's like, okay, against Jalen Milroe and Joe Milton, I will take Jalen Milroe and the big playability instead of Joe Milton's like kind of pitter patter, dink and dunk, despite the rocket arm, just has no explosivity this year. I think it's a bad matchup for Tennessee. I think Alabama wins.
Well, you say playing Alabama's game, but Alabama's not playing Alabama's game this year because they can't run the football. Alabama cannot run the football. This is an offense that wants to attempt to run the football, but all they can do is create explosive plays. That's it. Like Tennessee has been dominant, man. The way they handled A&M last week, like they won. Where the reason why I thought the Aggies were going to win is because I thought the Aggies would win the line of scrimmage. Tennessee won both sides of the line of scrimmage. Their offensive line dominated. They ran for over 200 yards against a defense that wasn't letting anyone run. You know, Alabama was held to under, I think, 80 yards. Miami couldn't run the football. And Tennessee ran up and down the field, especially in the second half. And what does Tennessee do well defensively? Well, they stop the run and they can get after the quarterback. Two things that Alabama has not done well this year. Alabama has not protected Milroe. Alabama has been unable to run the football. So, like, why can't Tennessee make this a game? And it goes to Joe Milton. That's plain and simple. It's Joe Milton. That's it. That is the difference in this game. If Tennessee had a capable quarterback, I think Tennessee could go in and win this football game. Joe has
So
been. Go ahead.
no, you go ahead. Joe's been what?
What
Finish your thought.
he's been inconsistent. Where I do think Joe can make an impact in this game, we saw a little bit of it last week and kind of help the offense, is running the football. I think Joe's going to have one of those bloody games where he's in absolute pain afterwards because he took it down for 8 to 10 times and got 40 yards on the ground.
So what you're getting at, Aaron, is the exact stat that I was talking about that would buoy Tennessee fans' hopes. So like we said, both teams second and third in the conference when it comes to sacks and TFL. So both teams very good at creating havoc. What about preventing havoc? Well, it ain't a small gap. It is a massive difference. Tennessee is second in the SEC. They've only allowed 9 sacks on the entire year. Alabama is dead last. Jalen Milroe has been sacked 31 times. Tennessee is first in the SEC, only having allowed 23 TFLs. Once again, Alabama is second to last, having allowed 50. So both teams create havoc, but Alabama has allowed triple the amount of sacks and over double the amount of TFLs. So to your point, Tennessee does appear to be better in the trenches.
Yes.
Like they appear to be better in the lines of scrimmage. And so it becomes a question of if Tennessee, can Tennessee be better on the line make up for the big playability of Alabama and being in T-Town?
Your reasoning, if we go back to the Ohio State game, your reasoning of why Penn State can win is because you think they can run the football regardless of how the quarterback plays. What'd you say from T-Bob's mouth? If you're on the road, what can you do? If you can run the football, you can win football games. Why are you changing your mind now? Because it's Alabama and you're a little scared little bitch of the Crimson Tide? Is that why?
I don't like it when you frame it that way, but
what is the real difference here?
Shut the fuck up, Aaron. If I'm being honest, unfortunately, you're probably hitting on something a little true there, right? Maybe I'm a little too close to this thing. Maybe I've suffered at the hands of the Tide so much that I'm still a little twisted up. But no, okay, but I would say this. The other difference, but yes, unfortunately, some of that is it. But the other difference would be the Milroe to Milton comparison. I think Aller and Kyle McCord are way closer than Milroe and Milton, whereas Milroe has been significantly better. Even if he's not great, he's been significantly better than Joe Milton this year. But
I get that. But if you can't protect him, and if you force him to be a quarterback, he will make mistakes. And that's what Tennessee has to do, man. If I'm Tennessee, as long as you don't give up the explosive plays, you got a chance on defense to keep this game.
Because Texas was better on the line as well, right? But what drove them over the top was them being able to make the big plays.
Yep.
And so it's okay, if Tennessee is going to be better on the lines, can they get enough out of Joe Milton to push them across the finish line? And I guess I'm really just fading Milton here, but it's a good point. I mean,
it is. You are. And I think, I honestly think when this is all said and done, I do think there has to be a real conversation for Tennessee and Hype Bowl of if Milton goes on the road and has a game that I think a lot of people are expecting to have, which is not good. If that's your crux and what's holding you back from a team that's playing great defensively, that's running the football, you have to look at yourself and say, yeah, man, we appreciate what this kid's done. But, I'm not at practice. I don't know what Nico's look like, but you have to take into account of do we need to make a change at quarterback? Because that's the big flaw right now for Tennessee. The receivers aren't as good as they were last year, but Joe has been really bad at times. And not at times, I mean, for the majority of the season, very inaccurate. Can't even hit easy slants. The amount of slants that I've seen that have been behind the receiver, and that's easy pitch and catch stuff, T-Bob.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Aaron, I'm just going to call it like it is. I am a little bitch, and I'm choosing Alabama to win here. Even though I do think Tennessee's better on the lines.
I'll still pick Alabama too. And
you're a little bitch as well. I'm glad. No. Just so we're painfully clear.
For me, the reason why I'm picking Alabama is because it's in Tuscaloosa. I think Tennessee makes this a 1-score game. I don't think Alabama rolls and wins by double digits. I think the line right now is +9 Tennessee. Over under is 49. I think this, just like the first game we talked about, this is going to be a low-scoring game. You have two really good defenses, two offenses that, Tennessee knows their identity, but I still don't know if you could score 25 points against Alabama's defense just running the football. And Alabama is a one-trick pony right now. It's shot
Tennessee
plays, and that's about it. So
Tennessee +9 here,
yeah, I kind of like
and
that.
the over/under at 49.
I like Tennessee, and I like the under.
That's what
I'm
I'm
a big
saying.
fan of unders this
Little
week, and when
parlay
when I'm feeling unders,
Aaron's an undermaster.
I'm
I
an
will give him
under
that. Like
master.
Aaron is an undermaster. All right. So we both think Bama wins in the end, but I think it's gonna be close. We think it's gonna be closer, maybe what Vegas is saying.
Yes.
Next on the list, we got number 14 Utah traveling to the Coliseum to take on number 18 USC. Aaron, have you seen the latest on Cam Rising? It's finally been revealed that he didn't just tear his ACL.
Yes.
He also tore his meniscus, his MPFL, and his MCL. So this man fully blew the fuck out of his knee.
Yeah.
Now they're talking about potentially medically redshirting him. And it starts to make a lot of sense, right? The conference, whatever it is. Where's Utah ending up in all this? Are they going Big 12?
Big 12.
Right. Okay, so it's a very winnable conference next year in a 12-team playoff. If you had Cam Rising coming back for another year, this is a year in which Utah has suffered a shocking amount of injuries, just an unbelievable amount of injuries. So if you're Kyle Whittingham, you're having to do that awful math of, we've been pretty damn good this year, but we could be really good next year. Do we kind of punt to next season, look out for Rising's health, and try to win that new Big 12 in year number one? It's really tempting. And if Rising doesn't play, I don't see how Utah can win this game, even with USC's awful defense.
No, I don't see it either. I mean, you look at Caleb, they played twice last year, and Utah won both those games.
Yeah.
But Caleb had 8 touchdowns to 1 interception in those 2 games. And let's not forget, he got hurt in the Pac-12 championship game, and that kind of gave Utah the momentum to win the game. It's just hard for me to think that, USC is not great this season. They're not improved that much on defense. The offensive line struggled. They're not physical.
That's where they're actually way worse than last year. They were good on the O-line.
They were good on the offensive line last year. You love that unit.
Lost in the sauce. I love that O-line last year. Not so much this season.
It is hard for me to think that Caleb's going to have another bad game, especially being back at home.
Yeah.
And once again, he's had a lot of success against Utah. He's not the reason why they lost the games the past 2 years to Utah. Like he's done his thing. He's done what he's needed to do. I just don't think, for how bad USC's defense is, who actually did play a little bit better last week. They weren't on the field a lot, and they were put in some really bad situations because of the turnovers. I just don't think Utah has enough to win this football game. And I do think USC's had this circled. Like this is a revenge game for them. They understand as well that, hey, man, we're still in the thick of it. Like, none of us believe they're going to win the Pac-12, but they can still run the table, win the Pac-12, and be in the playoffs. Like, one loss on the road to Notre Dame doesn't take you out of contention. So I expect a major bounce back game from Caleb.
If Quiddy and Rising were playing, I would pick Utah to win this game. Because I don't think, and like Charlie Shepard points out in the chat, USC doesn't have the turnover luck they had last season, where they were turning it over at an unsustainable rate, right? But it's like you said, how did Notre Dame beat USC? Because when USC and Caleb Williams did make a mistake, which the Utah defense is very good as well and could probably force you into a couple, when they did make a mistake, though, Sam Hartman was able to maximize the opportunity. And unfortunately, Bryson Barnes, Nate Johnson, I don't think Brandon Rose is available. Those guys have just not been good offensively for Utah. Like, they're not going to be able to maximize the opportunity. And so, yeah, like you said, being at home, given what happened last week, no Cam Rising, this is an easy call. USC wins this game for me. And that's no disrespect to the Utah defense. It's no disrespect. But like Utah's offense without Cam Rising and Queethy just is not well suited to taking advantage of what is a bad USC defense. So I think Caleb Williams is going to be locked in, like you said, Aaron, and I think he's going to dominate here. Or maybe not dominate, but like he will win them the game at home. All right, next on the list, we got a little Duke FSU action. This is number 16 against number 4. I hope Riley Leonard plays. I'm not sure if he will. He has a high ankle. Elko's calling him day to day. They didn't do tightrope for whatever that's worth. The problem is, even if he does play, he's a running quarterback, you know, and I've played with a high ankle before, and it is fucking miserable. You might as well be playing on one leg. You're so weak. You probably have a brace on that makes it so you almost have like no mobility in that ankle. So off the jump here, I expect FSU to win. They're at home. Duke's hurt. What I am excited to see, regardless of Leonard's playing status, is this FSU offense against Duke's defense. Because I'm still doing some fact finding on the Seminoles offense. I sucked them a lot early on, and then they started to kind of suck. But now they're kind of getting good again, right? And Jordan Travis, for all the Heisman talk, has not actually been involved in any of the Heisman conversations. Keon Coleman has been the star of that offense. I can't remember if Johnny Wilson is back or not this week. I'll look that up. But like that's what I mainly want to see. I'm almost just looking at that side of the ball. What does FSU's offense do against this very good Duke defense?
It's a great Duke defense. I mean, just go look at the stats right now. Scoring defenses in the ACC, Duke's giving up 9.8 points per game. The next best defense is Florida State, giving up 18 points per game.
Yeah, so it's
that's
not
just
even
crazy.
close.
This defense has just been dominant the entire season. I mean, what they did to I get it's Notre Dame, but what they did to Clemson too, they have been not only just one of the best defenses in the ACC, but they've been one of the best defenses in the country. And which is why, T-Bob over here has been sucking off Mike Elko to be the next head coach for Texas A&M. I mean, he's done a hell of a job.
And when he was at A&M was the only time they were good.
That makes sense. I get it. I know.
And I mean, look, Steve Spurrier won at Duke, and he ended up being pretty good. Like, if you can win football games at Duke and make them relevant, I feel like it's not 100%. Nothing's 100% guarantee of success, but I feel like it's pretty damn good. By the way, it does look like Mike Norvell said Jordan Travis is good to go, and he expects Johnny Wilson to be good to go.
Yeah.
So you should be getting a full Florida State offense once again. I'm just surprised they haven't run the ball better this year. Benson was one of those piped running backs coming into the year, and he just hasn't really done much.
No. And looking at Duke, like Henry Bellin last week for NC State, 4 of 12. I mean, he had the 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, but this is a team that's built on taking care of the football. You mentioned it, like Riley Leonard's a hell of a runner. Like passing is not his specialty. So if he's unable to run, like I'm not putting him out here because I'm not risking him getting hurt further. And 2, I just don't think he's going to be nearly as effective. And I think that's kind of pointless at that moment anyway. So Florida State wins, but it ain't going to be easy. It will not be easy. Like they will struggle to score points against this Duke defense. Another low scoring game, to be honest. Like I think our first, most of our games here that we've been breaking down, defenses is just in general this year, to me, I feel like they've really taken a step up. People have kind of looked at the model
NFL level as well.
Yeah. They're catching up to these offenses. They're getting used to the spread offenses. They're getting used to the up tempo. They're better prepared for the RPOs. And I think there is more of a focal point of developing that side of your team. And I think Georgia's kind of shown teams that once again, you can win primarily on a defensive focused team, even in today's era of these great offenses. So Duke will make it interesting, but Florida State just too much, especially without Riley being fully healthy.
If Mike Elko wins, do you think that like the A&M boosters all get together and start to kind of check each other's bank accounts?
Yes.
Like, hey, what's up, dog? How's oil doing right now? Okay. Hell yeah. How's supplying equipment to oil companies doing? Okay. Hell yeah. All right. So we both think FSU wins. They're at home as well. Just wish he had a fully healthy Riley Leonard, and I wouldn't feel, but we'll see. And then finally,
I mean, if he was healthy, sorry, real quick, if he was fully healthy, would you pick Duke, or you still?
No. I'd still go Florida State, but I'm a little FSU boy. I'm a little believer. I just think that now, like, I'm not even like I really think Florida State's going to win. Like I said, I'm just more want to see how their offense is going to do against that defense.
If Florida State's offense puts up north of 25 points.
If they put up 30, that's a statement now, Bo.
That's a statement. That is 100% statement. Florida State, man, if you can do that, I think you're going to prove to a lot of people you are for real. And I think a lot of people do believe you're for real already. But if you can do that against Duke in that defense, man, like you go up another notch in my book.
Tell me this doesn't sound like I'm talking about basketball. If you can do that against Duke, then you can do it against UNC. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that UNC team has been pretty good this year. All right, next on the list, the last game that we're breaking down today. Got number 13 Ole Miss traveling to Jordan-Hare to take on the Auburn Tigers. Very interesting in that this is the school that Lane Kiffin spurned to remain in Oxford. And so now going on the road, there's an AL.com headline. If Lane Kiffin doesn't beat Auburn, he needs to be fired immediately. Well, you read the article then, Aaron, and it's more just an Auburn writer talking about how bad this Auburn team is right now. But this is a bit of a weird spot for Ole Miss, right? Because you have an Auburn team that admittedly is pretty horrid offensively, but we saw what they did against Georgia playing at home when they were up for it. I still don't think this Ole Miss offensive line is any good. I think I do not know how they kicked LSU's ass in the way that they did. Like, I think Auburn's D-line is going to kind of push their shit in a little bit. I think Ole Miss wins the game, but I'm getting a little bit of trouble signals going off here.
I think Ole Miss wins the game too. I mean, they're coming off the bye, and I think that's the one thing that gives me the most confidence because we've talked about that. Like Auburn's offense is almost triple option-esque in what they want to do.
Yeah.
And what do you need when you're going to face a team that runs this type of system with running quarterbacks? You need an extra week to prepare, to rep it out in practice for your guys to see it and feel comfortable with it. So I think that is a major advantage of why I feel a little bit more confident with Ole Miss and their defense. But Ole Miss has struggled with the line of scrimmage on both sides. I mean, go back to the Alabama game. I said, like, Alabama's going to win this football game because Ole Miss is soft at the offensive line position and they're soft at the defensive line position. Auburn's been really good in the trenches this year.
I agree.
They've been able to run the football. So this is not, we talk about matchups all the time and how, it doesn't matter about records. It doesn't matter what one team did against another team and what that team did against the same team. Like the whole transitive property bullshit. Like, no, every team in college football is built so differently. This isn't the NFL where the strengths and weaknesses don't match up week in and week out. And right now, Ole Miss's weaknesses do not match up well against Auburn and what they want to do on both sides of the football. So playing in Jordan-Hare,
and you may say like, oh, but T-Bob, we saw LSU's offense just dominate that Auburn defense, and we saw what how comparable LSU and Ole Miss's offenses are, and I agree there. But again, it does come down to the line, like Aaron's talking about. Like I just don't. LSU's O line is Joe Moore award worthy. They're very good. I still don't think Ole Miss's offensive line is that good.
No. I think they can.
It feels like another underplay. 56.5. How the fuck is this game going to score 56.5? What was the final score of Arkansas Ole Miss just like a week ago?
27-20.
Yeah. And that was in Oxford. You're telling me you're going to go
unders. I love you jumping on unders with me.
You're going to tell me you're going to go into Jordan-Hare and these two teams, this inept Auburn offense and this Ole Miss offense that I think is going to struggle a little bit. You think they're going to fit? I don't think so, dude. Okay.
Listen, Auburn's 3-3. And they got a pretty chill schedule on the back end. They got Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, New Mexico State after this. I mean, that's 4 possible wins right there.
This is a Hugh Freeze revenge game as well. Don't forget. He's pissed about them firing him for hooking up with hookers on school phones. That's ridiculous. What, you can't stand by your guy? Ole Miss? What the fuck, dude? I think Ole Miss wins. I can't bring myself to choose Auburn, but I'm definitely playing this under 100%.
What's the spread? What's the line? What does Vegas think this is right now?
6.5. Which I'll take Auburn with the 6.5.
I will too. I think it's a field goal game. I'll take Ole Miss will squeak it out. I still, for those who have watched this, know how much I do like Jackson Dart in his game. I think he can get it done on the road. But I don't think it's going to be pretty. I don't think it's going to be pretty at all. It may look a lot. It may look.
They better squeak it out.
It will look a little bit like the Georgia game for Auburn.
The thing is, I know I'm out here talking about how Ole Miss doesn't control their own destiny because they got to play Georgia, but they actually do, right?
They do,
and they get a Georgia without Brock Bowers. So like, don't fuck it up, Ole Miss. You've never been to Atlanta. This is your opportunity. A lot of things are breaking your way, including catching about as bad of an Auburn team as you can ever hope to face. And like we said, Georgia without Brock Bowers, like, come on now. You want to finally make it? Maybe this is your opportunity. Actually, wait, I'm sorry. They don't control their own destiny, though, because Alabama. They would need Alabama to
lose one
actually, Yeah, no, I'm fucked. They need Alabama to lose too. I'm an idiot. Just disregard the last 30 seconds of everything I just said.
They just need Alabama to lose one more.
No, because Alabama lost to Texas.
Oh, that's true. Never mind.
No, so yeah, no, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot.
You are an idiot.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I hope you enjoyed the show anyway. I want to look up Quinshon. What has Quinshon Judkins done since LSU? 18 for 65 against Arkansas. Ooh. So, God, LSU sucks. Whatever. All right. That'll do it for today's show. Please rate, review if you're listening on podcasts. Like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. YouTube.com/@volumesnaps. A massive thank you to everybody hanging out with us here in the chat today. Sorry to get to as many of your comments today. Today's kind of a quick moving sort of show, so we had to go. I do like what John says, like the video, placate the algorithmic gods. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Massive thank you to Pat Gunther, Ryan Brumley, Danny Cardenas, Chris Tran, Christian Hunter, and Adam Gracia. And we will be back with a gambling show tomorrow that will not be live. And I'm guessing sometime live on Saturday. And
Saturday or Sunday?
Well, we'll have it. We won't be live on Sunday. We'll have our Sunday show go up.
Yeah.
I don't know what your schedule is. We haven't really talked about Saturday yet. And then in the future, I hope to have something on Friday. I don't know if I'll have it this week. I'm sorry. This is all still kind of moving around, y'all. But thank you for hanging out with us. We love you. And make sure you tune in tomorrow because Colin Wilson has been on fire. Hot sauce game fucking smashed. Okay. It's everything he's telling us. Look out for tomorrow. We'll see you then for some more snaps.